Hello everyone, welcome to the beer garden. Now we will going to preview the big day on Sunday. That will be the 4 Group 1 races on the Hong Kong International Races Day. But before talking about our selection, I would like to ask about which is your most memorable Group 1 race. How about you, Sarah? Which Group 1 do you think is the most memorable for you?
There's a lot to pick from. One of the first most memorable ones that I had the pleasure to watch in person was the 2019 Breeders' Cup, the Longines Turf, where Brooks and Mortar went out on top. The race was incredible to watch. It was on the downhill turf course, and it just seemed as though Brooks and Mortar settled into the pack and was just kind of getting buried behind a wall of horses. And then, I don't know, it was like the grace of God at the top of the stretch, a window opened and he switched into gear, took it, went wide. And it was the most incredible victory, won by a head over United. It was an impressive field. But for a horse like that to go out on top and that kind of performance, I was completely taken aback.
Yeah, that's a really great experience. How about you, Steve? Do you have any the most memorable Group 1 for you?
Like Sarah says, there's so many, but I think it's always means something too if you're there in person. I was lucky to be in person when Frankel won the Juddmonte International at York, and that was a one. It was 1-10 on. He was a hot favourite, but there was a fraction of a second when it looked like he might have a race on, and then suddenly he was just so imperious. There was almost like an ironic cheer from the crowd because he then just danced off and won by 7 lengths from far, and then St Nicholas Abbey. And then Tom Cooley, the jockey, would just, walk up the track with the horse and, you get a round of applause. It's just a wonderful sight. And it's a great thing to see Frankel winning by 7 lengths in a Group 1. So that, for me, I think is my favourite memory.
Yeah, that's a really impressive horse, Frankel. He's unbeaten. And Joe, how about you for your most memorable Group 1 race for you?
Well, it's kind of 2 into 1 because I went to the Breeders' Cup, I believe it was like 2016, and California Chrome, what I'm wearing here, and it's not a good memory because it was a bad memory. He didn't win the Breeders' Cup Classic, just got second to Arrogant. Then the first ever Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream, I went to that too, and that was when they were doing all the big $15 million races all around the world. So the Pegasus World Cup was that, and you had to pay $1 million to get in. And then California Chrome was in that too. But if you're drawn all the way wide and on the Gulfstream dirt, you're not going to win. And he drew 12, and Arrogant drew, I think he drew 1. So, yeah, flew all the way there, saw that, and cried. So, but that's my memory of the biggest Grade 1 or Group 1 race.
Yeah, I know that maybe for most of the horse racing fans, there must be so many memorable Group 1 for you. And maybe that will be included in this Sunday. Because this Sunday at Charene, there will be 4 Group 1 race. Maybe the first race we are going to discuss will be race 4. That is the Hong Kong Vase. Sarah, which horse is your favorite?
I'm taking Pile Driver. I honestly think he got one of the best barrier draws here coming out of Barrier 3. He's been known to perform great out of that. He's proven on all surfaces. You see these horses coming in from all over the world, and they may run great on soft and muddy tracks, but then the track's going to be rated good or possibly even firm here. So it's definitely something to think about. But Pile Driver is just an impressive horse. And I mean, these races are all very hard to look at because there's so much talent coming into these fields. I just think with his outstanding 4-year-old career, I think this horse is going to end it on top this year. So I'm taking Pile Driver.
Yeah, Pile Driver will be jumping from gate 3, which is quite ideal for this. Maybe we'll use the front running tactic. And Steve, how about you? Which is your favorite?
Well, Japan send 2 for the Vase. They send Stay Foolish and Glory Vase, and Stay Foolish would be an appropriate name for me, I guess. But Glory Vase for me, I think. He won this in 2019, and he returned to Châtillon last season. He only found the Breeders' Cup heroine, Loves Only You, too strong in the QE2 Cup. And he warmed up for this with a very nice 3rd in a Grade 2. He's looked well on track work under Joe Moreira. So I think I'll go for Glory Vase. It's a very fantastic race, though. And we've also got the likes of Iberia, which will be a very poignant win for France. It may well be Alain de Roy Dupra's final runner before he retires. And that would be poignant because it's in the Aga Khan Silks. And also, as Sarah says, there is also Pile Driver, an interesting horse too. And he limbered up for this with a win in the Churchill listed stakes at Lingfield. But for me, it's Glory Vase for Japan.
Number 2, Glory Vase will be jumping from gate 7. This horse has the experience to race over the Charene track. And Joe, what is your favorite in the Hong Kong Vase?
I didn't realize that I picked a really, the biggest price of all of them. I picked Reliable Team. In Australia, he is currently $41, and I did not realize that. But when I looked, I liked Reliable Team's last month's effort, winning, beating a lot of horses on the lead, and he's going to take a step up in the distance because of the Vase's 2,400, and I think the last race that he was in the Group 2 was 2,000. And it was really tough for me to look at all the other horses and think, I don't know if it's going to be one of those races where he could take the lead all the way. So I don't know if he's going to have to face a lot of speed up front with some other horses. But yeah, Reliable Team, I like the draw. He's always been, when the last race he had to work to get over, but now he's draw number 1. So I think he'll stay there all the way, all along the rail, and everybody's going to try to catch him.
Yeah, number 6, Reliable Team jumping from gate 1. He's probably the only leader in this race, and see whether the slow pace would be beneficial to him. And for me, I will be saying to Sarah, I also like number 1, Pale Driver, because half a year before, I saw his victory in the Coronation Cup. That was really impressive. And actually, after arriving to Hong Kong, I also saw his track work during the morning, and I believe that now the fitness level is at the peak. So I'm really looking forward to Pale Driver in Hong Kong Vase. So to sum up our selection in race 4 Hong Kong Vase, Sarah and I will go to number 1, Pale Driver representing the UK. Steve likes number 2, Glory Vase representing Japan, and Joe will go for number 6, Reliable Team representing Hong Kong. And the second race we are going to discuss will be race 5, that is the Hong Kong Sprint. Sarah, which sprinter is your favorite here?
I'm going to take 5, Lucky Patch. I think this is another horse where I think he got the best barrier draw he could possibly get in this field. He's going to benefit a lot because there's not a whole lot of early speed around him. So with that being said, if this horse gets loose out of the gate, could he wire the field? I think we could see a really great performance out of this horse. I mean, he's beat a lot of great competition, especially his last time out on November 21st, where he went against Naboo Attack and Skyfield to come out on top. I just think this is another horse who got luck of the draw with the barrier, and we could definitely see this benefiting his performance in this race.
Yeah, number 5, Lucky Patch will be jumping from gate 9, and this time Zach Purton takes the ride, and hopefully he can have the back-to-back winner. And Steve, what is your favorite in Hong Kong Sprint?
I've gone for Courier Wonder. He's number 11. He's drawn 5. I've always loved this horse. He's been unbeaten in his first 5 runs, all over course and distance. Moreira has stuck with him every time. Both defeats this season can be forgiven. I think he needed the reappearance run. And last time he was drawn 9, he had to work hard to get prominent. And then once he got into the straight, he kind of veered under pressure. And I think he was just, it's the first time he's been under severe pressure in any of his races. I think they'll get rid of that trait. I think he's a very genuine horse. I think he's got a touch of class. And as Sarah says, Lucky Patch as well won the Jockey Club Sprint. And every horse in that race, bar Super Wealthy, comes back for another crack at Lucky Patch. So that's interesting. But I think possibly the main danger to Courier Wonder could be the Japanese Raiders to Pixie Night, Resistencia, and last year's winner, Dan Smash. But for me, Courier Wonder to get back on the winning trail.
Number 11, Courier Wonder will be jumping from gate 5, and I think that this is really a lightly raced horse, and I believe he still have rooms to improve. And Joe, how about you? What is your selection?
It was really tough to pick this race because there's a lot of favorites for me. Wellington, but I didn't like the draw. Lucky Patch was another one that I was considering after his last victory in the Jockey Club. Skyfield was another one I was leaning towards because Blake Shin and retains the ride. And he had a really brilliant third and then a second 2 races before that, Naboo Attack. But I actually went for a higher price. I went with Hot King Prawn. Just with Ryan Moore, draw number 2. He has won off with Joe Moreira before. And when I looked at the race, I think that with Hot King Prawn, I think he's due for a big win. I think he's due for another Group 1 win. He won one last season in the Sanitary Sprint Cup. So it's a tough field, and there's a lot of great horses, especially the 3-year-old right next to Hot King Prawn. But I think with Ryan Moore is going to probably shake him up, and he's going to have a really, really great race. But his form isn't really great, but I think that he'll bounce back and probably win this race.
Number 1, Hot King Prawn, jumping from gates 2. Actually, he is last year's Hong Kong champion sprinters, and he definitely has the class here. And for me, I also agree that this is a very quite open race, but I will go for number 4, Wellington. Despite the gate 1, I believe this horse is dynamic enough to overcome it. Last time out in the Jockey Club sprint, he also performed quite well, but actually that was his first up for the season. And last Friday, I saw his barrier trial at Charene. That was really amazing. So I believe Wellington is now ready for the Group 1 Hong Kong sprint. And to sum up, 4 of us are going to support the Hong Kong horses. Steve likes number 11, Courier Wonder. Sara goes for number 5, Lucky Patch. Joe likes number 1, Hot King Prawn. And I will go for number 4, Wellington. And so we now move to the Hong Kong Mile. That will be in race 7 on Sunday. Sara, which is your favorite miler?
I tried to find another horse besides Golden 60. I studied this field a lot, and I just couldn't find one. So I'm taking Golden 60. I mean, just an unbelievable horse. And I think his last race out even proved it even more of how talented this horse is. I think the only, or I wouldn't say the only, but one of the toughest competitions in this field might be Indy Champ. I think Indy Champ could definitely put Golden 60 in for a run for his money in that stretch, especially with both of their late speed figures are incredible. But I couldn't do it. I'm going with Golden 60.
Yes, there will go for number 1, Golden 60. He will be jumping from gate 2 under his best partner, Vincent Ho. And how about Steve? Do you like Golden 60 or any other horse you like?
Well, I kept on typing Golden 60, but I kept on going back, and I ended up siding with Dannon Kingley. He's number 2. He's drawn 9. Now, I mean, Golden 60, he is the one that you'd expect to win. You switch on TV and you'll expect him to pass the post first. But his prohibitive price makes Dannon Kingley a very nice each way price. You'll get 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1 possibly, and I've looked in places. And he's a very nice horse. He's had a very light campaign. He's only had 2 outings in this year. One was a winner, a Group 1 success, and the last time he was runner-up in a Group 2 Manike Okan race, and it was behind the classy 3-year-old Schnell Meister. And he's also turned heads on his track work at Charene as well. So I do think that Dannon Kingley will be a good opposition to Golden 60. What's the biggest threat to Golden 60? Possibly traffic. He's going to be held up by Vincent Ho in gate 2. Now, if they're muddling along, you just do not know, do you? It could be I mean, he had the luxury of coming down the outside last time. But I think traffic could be an issue. Dannon Kingley's drawn in 9. You'll have clear sailing. So who knows? But certainly the heart says Golden 60 and the head too.
Yeah, number 2, Dannon Kingley. He is also a horse that having a really strong turn of foot. So I'm quite looking forward to see the battle between Golden 60 and Dannon Kingley. And Joe, how about you? What is your favorite?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Golden 60. He's one of those where it was kind of like incentivized where you try to beat him, but he just ends up beating you. And Golden 60, every time I've tried to beat him, he ends up beating you. So there's really nothing much to say. Everybody covered with Golden 60. But for an each-way chance, just in case he does come in, I did choose Sky Darcy. I've been a fan of Sky Darcy for a while, especially with his Derby win. Joe Moreira and Casper Founds is usually a good combination. They've had more than a 50% winning record with them together. And this is just based off of what I like. So it was pretty much, I'm a big fan of Sky Darcy, so I probably will pick him underneath. But yeah, Golden 60 for me.
Yeah, number 8, the Sky Darcy, I think is also an interesting runner. And then for me, I also think the number 1 Golden 60 would be quite hard to beat. I know that in this year's Hong Kong Mile, the pace would be very, very slow. But last time out in the Jockey Cup Mile, Golden 60 also won it in a very slow pacing. So I believe he is going to win again, despite the pace will be slow. I think this horse is quite strong. But the main concern will be the gate too. So hopefully Vincent Ho will be finding the best position for this horse. So maybe in the Hong Kong Mile, Sarah, Joe, and I also think that Golden 60 would be a good horse representing Hong Kong, while Steve also has another selection apart from Golden 60, that is number 2, Danon Kingdee, and also Joe will have a each way bet on number 8, Sky Darcy. So now let's move to the final group 1 we are going to talk about. That would be race 8 in Hong Kong, that is the Hong Kong Cup. Sarah, which horse is your favorite one?
I'm taking 12 Loves Only You. I was very lucky to watch Loves Only You at the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. Was my pick that day, proved to be much the best horse that this horse is. I mean, this horse has won at Charene. This horse was raced against some of the toughest competition worldwide, coming in 3rd to Mischief, coming in 2nd to Sadashi, and then coming to the U.S. and really putting on such an incredible performance at the Breeders' Cup. I am going to stick really high on this horse. You might not get the best price for her, but an unbelievable talent coming in. So I'm very excited, and I'm really hoping that she's another horse that goes out on top. This is going to be this horse's last race, so fingers crossed it's a great one.
Yeah, definitely. Number 12, Loves Only You, will jumping from gate 4, and then after this race, she will be going to retire, and hopefully she will win again at Charene. And Steve, how about you? What is your favorite?
Certainly would be nice to see Loves Only You go out on a high. I'm just taking Dubai Owner. He's number 8, drawn 7. He's a really progressive horse, a really progressive 3-year-old for William Haggis. And he's a trainer who doesn't normally like sending 3-year-olds for a long trip to Hong Kong. But he's decided on this because Dubai Owner's had a relatively short season. He only started in June for Royal Ascot. He's a nice horse. He's won 2 Group 2s in France, including the Prix d'Or, and that was on Arc weekend. And he was also second to Sealiway in the Champion Stakes at Ascot. So I'm hoping that Dubai Owner can run well. And of course, Tom Marquand has his confidence up. He had a winner on IJC night as well. But yes, hopefully Dubai Owner can win. And Toby on Diamond, possibly in Panfield, maybe a bit of hope for the home contingent as well. But for me, yes, Dubai Owner.
Number 8, Dubai Owner, jumping from gate 7. I know that the trainer, William Haggis, has the plans to come visit Hong Kong in December for a long time. So I believe here the horse is at the peak. And Joe, how about you? Which one do you like?
Yeah, I really was going to pick Loves Only You, but I sort of have some trepidations on her. I know it's going to be her last race, and I know she's won this race before, but this one, if you're looking outside of the 2 favorites, Dubai Honor and Loves Only You, it's going to be kind of wide open. You have a lot of great talent in this, and I went with this little pattern here of picking all the Hong Kong horses. So I did go with Ka-Ying Star, who is on the top, number 1. Just his second in the last race that he was in, they tried him in over the 2000, and he did come back and almost beat Reliable Team. And Reliable Team is also going to be in the first race, or the first race of the Group 4s or the Group 1s in race 4. So if the form goes well and Reliable Team wins, then I think that Ka-Ying Star does have a chance as well, especially with he does have form behind a lot of these great horses too, like Sky Darcy, Golden 60, Waikuku, Champions Away, Tourbillon Diamond, Panfield. So I'm going to take Ka-Ying Star at a big price in this race.
Yeah, number one, Kaing Star jumping from gate 6. Actually, last time out, he just missed the gate, but however, he came finish in the second place after reliable team. And I believe that he will be one of the leader here. And I will go for another possible leader, that is number 11, Lei Papel representing Japan. She will jump from gate 3 this time, and I think that return back to 2,000 meter would be a better distance for her, because we saw her victory in the Osaka High. That is also the same distance over the Hanshin Racecourse. And I think that Hanshin Racecourse and Charene Racecourse are quite similar. So I believe number 11, Lei Papel, can also have some good result at Charene, especially with Christophe Soumillon on board. So to sum up the Hong Kong Cup, Sarah likes number 12, Loves Only You, representing Japan. Steve will go for number 8, Dubai Honor, representing the UK. Joe likes our home team horses, number 1, Kaing Star, and I will go for number 11, Lei Papel, representing Japan. So that's all for the 4 Group 1s on Sunday. I think that all of you must be very looking forward to the 4 Group horses. So after talking about the 4 Group 1 races on Sunday, and now we will going to talk about our best bet and also our value bet. Sarah, what is your best bet on Sunday at Charene?
We're going to go to race 9 with the 13, Lucky With You. This horse has been having a lot of great barrier trial runs there at Charene. Hasn't raced since July, but when this horse was racing earlier this year, was putting out some impressive performances, and its last win, beating Millennium Falcon back in July, was very impressive. This horse has great gate speed, so barrier 1 I don't see being an issue. He has one of the best gate speeds in this field, so I think he's going to be a very interesting horse, and I'm excited to see how he runs at the later half of his 4-year-old career.
Yeah, race 3, number 13, Lucky With You, will be jumping from gate 1 and ridden by Karis Teton. And Steve, what is your best bet?
Race number 10, Tornado Phantom. Number 14, John 3. He was a winner on debut, and then his final run of last season, he was second to the very smart California Spangle, who runs in race 6. He returned last month over the mile at Happy Valley. He was a bit unfortunate, squeezed out at the start, challenged wide, but Moreira was quite easy on him when you realised his chance had gone, but he still ran a good 4th. He steps back in trip. He goes to 1,400 metres. This is his first time at the trip, and I think it will suit him ideally. So for me, Tornado Phantom.
Yeah, race 10, number 14, Tornado Phantom, will be jumping from gate 3 and also ridden by Joe Moreira again. And Joe, what is your best bet?
My best bet's in the opener, race number 1, All for St. Paul's. He had a really brilliant win at Charene in the first up early in the Hong Kong season. So yeah, I really like this one. Even before that, with the last season, he had a lot of great form before the season ended, and he had a couple of wins, and one on the all-weather and one on the turf as well. So it was kind of hard to pick which ones from the bottom, but when I looked at it, and I don't know if this is a mistake on the form that I'm looking at, but everybody is 51.5 kilos, and the number 1 horse is 60.5 kilos. So I don't know if there was something wrong with that or what, but anyways, All for St. Paul's for me. That's who I'm going to pick. I'm going to go with the Poon Train in the opener.
Yeah, race 1, number 7, All for St. Paul's, will be Joe's best bet. And I also have my best bet on the open in the opener. That will be number 3, Master Delight. Because this is the first time that he will be racing in a class 2. Last time out, he was carrying a top weight in the class 3 race, and he won it impressively. I believe that Master Delight, as a 4-year-old, he will be aiming for the Derby for the season in Hong Kong this season. So I hope that he will be going to have a back-to-back win in the opener. Maybe All for St. Paul is also the main threat of Master Egg, but hopefully our 2 horses will have good results on Sunday. And now we maybe move to our best bet. And now maybe we move to our value bet. Sarah, what is your value bet on Sunday at Charene?
I'm going to race to the 4 Super Mission. You're going to get great value on this horse. This horse has been trying at all different distances. I think this 1,400 meters is really where this horse needs to be. But you look a few races back in July, at the 1400. He really had great form there. I really watched the replay of that race. It just seemed like it finally clicked. But I feel like you're going to get some value because this horse has proven he can't string wins. He can't string back-to-back wins. So he hasn't won in a bit. But I just feel like if this horse comes back to form, he has taken some time off, really hasn't raced since the end of October. And I think that time's really going to show on the field. So I think you're going to get a really great value on this horse, but I really don't see why this horse could not win this race.
Yeah, race number 2, number 4, Super Mission. She will be ridden by Ryan Moore and jumping from gate 5, having quite a good chance. I also think about it. And how about Steve? What is your value bet?
Value bet race number 3, Charity Go. He's number 1. He's drawn 5. He won the corresponding race last year when it was called the Flintshire Handicap, named after that great horse. And he's back on his last winning mark. He was rated 79 then. He got up to 87 earlier this year. He's back down to 79. William Buick was on board last time. Or should I say, when he won in 2020, they booked Ryan Moore, which looks quite good. And he ran 3 races this season in Class 2, second twice behind Celestial Power, once behind CP Brave. So he's dropping down in class, but he's still in very good form. I think he'll take advantage of the class drop.
Yeah, race 3, number 1, Charity Go, the class dropper. And on Sunday, he will be ridden by Ryan Moore, jumping from gate 5. And how about you, Joe? What is your value bet?
My value bet is going to be in one of the Hong Kong international races, the Hong Kong Sprint. It's number 1, Hot King Prawn. Ryan Moore and Hot King Prawn and everything that's leading up to this race. I think he could win, or I think he does have a chance to win this race, and probably a better price than a lot of the horses. So yeah, Hot King Prawn, I know he hasn't had 2 great runs, but I think he could bounce back in this race.
Yeah, race 5, number 1, Hot King Prawn. Gate 2 will be quite ideal for him, and I'm quite looking forward to this grey horse. He is really lovely. And my value bet will be in a race 2. That will be number 13, Moonluck. Because of the wide gate, I think that he will going to have quite a good price. Last time out, he showed quite a really good turn of foot over this course and distance, and I hope that he will continue his form under the same jockey, Ruan Meyer. And this horse will be trained by Francis Lloyd. Recently, Francis has a really good results recently, and also on the big day he will be sending the horse of the year Golden 60, and hopefully Francis will have more than 1 winner on Sunday, including maybe race 2, number 13, Moonluck. So that's all for our predictions on Sunday, and hopefully you will be enjoying all the 4 Group 1 races. Good luck on Sunday, and thank you for your watching. Thanks for your time. See you next time. Bye bye.